All right, let's get right into it. We all go through the school system, right? We spend, what, a dozen years, maybe more, inside of it. But have you ever really truly stopped to ask what it's all for? In this explainer, we're going to dig into that exact question and explore this really powerful idea of how you can shift from just being a student to becoming an independent thinker.
And that really all boils down to this one huge question. Is school actually designed to make you successful, or is it designed to make you obedient? I know, it's a pretty big accusation, right? But stick with me because it's a thought that's definitely worth exploring.
So first things first, let's talk about what most of us believe. We can call it the success myth. This is the story we're all told, the one that's so baked into our culture that we hardly ever think to question it.
And here's what that myth sounds like. Go to school, get good grades, get into a good college, and boom, you'll be successful. It's presented to us like this perfect, foolproof recipe for a good life. That's the big promise of the system. But what if? What if that's not the whole story?
This brings us to the other side of the coin. Let's call it the obedience reality. This is where we start to peel back the curtain, We look past the official subjects like math and history, and we try to find this sort of hidden curriculum, the stuff they're teaching us without actually saying they're teaching it.
Yeah, this one question just turns everything upside down. It makes you wonder if the most important skills we're learning aren't actually about being creative or innovative, but about, well, compliance. So let's break down how that might actually work.
It all starts with a heavy focus on memorization. Just think about it. All those dates, the formulas, the random facts. We're tested way more on our ability to recall information than our ability to use it to create something new. It's almost like they're trying to turn our brains into storage drives.
And when you're just memorizing, what does that train you do? Well, it trains you to repeat and to follow instructions perfectly. The fastest way to get an A isn't to challenge the assignment with a wild idea, right? No, it's to do exactly what the teacher told you to do. Success becomes about how well you can copy the blueprint.
So what do we lose in this whole process? Well, for one, we lose the impulse to question things. In a system where you get a gold star for coloring inside the lines, asking, why are there lines in the first place? Well, that's not seen as insightful. It's often seen as disruptive. And look, if you're not questioning, you're almost certainly not creating. True creation is messy. It requires risk. It requires breaking the mold, the very mold you're being graded on fitting into. The entire structure kind of subtly pushes you away from being genuinely original. And this is the real kicker. At the end of the day, you're judged by your marks, a letter or a number. That becomes the ultimate measure of your success. A brilliant, unconventional idea that doesn't check all the boxes on the rubric gets a C, while a perfectly executed but totally unoriginal paper gets the A. That tells you everything about what the system really values. And when this happens for years and years, it really has an effect on you. You start to internalize it. Slowly but surely, you start believing that your self-worth is somehow tied to that number on a report card, instead of your own curiosity, your passions, or your unique way of seeing the world.
The problem is, this kind of conditioning creates a major league disconnect when you finally step out of the classroom. You're set up for this massive clash of values between the world of school and what the real world actually asks of you. I mean, just look at the difference. It's night and day. On one side, the academic system values following rules, memorizing facts, and getting high marks. But then you get out into the real world, and what really matters: solving messy problems, thinking for yourself, and adapting to change. All the stuff the system kind of pushes to the side.
So why does this huge gap even exist? Well, the truth is, our education system is kind of outdated. It's running on old software. It was largely designed for the industrial age, an operating system built to create good, compliant workers for factories. The world has changed dramatically, but the core of the system, it hasn't really kept up.
Okay, so if the system is outdated, what can you actually do about it? Well, this is the empowering part. It's not about rejecting education entirely. It's about consciously unlearning the limiting habits that the system might have instilled in you.
So here's your 3-step game plan. First, learn beyond the textbooks. Go read voraciously, watch documentaries, talk to people who completely disagree with you. Actively hunt for the knowledge the syllabus leaves out. Second, become a relentless questioner. Don't just ask what, ask why, and what if. Challenge assumptions, especially your own. And third, build real skills. Skills that solve actual problems. Learn to communicate, to negotiate, to build something. Do things that have value outside of a grade.
And this really captures the whole idea, doesn't it? The goal of a real education isn't to control what you think.
It's to give you the tools to forge your own thoughts, to see the world in new ways, and to literally expand the capacity of your mind.
And when you really embrace this mindset, something profound starts to happen. You begin this amazing transformation from being a passive recipient of information to an active creator of it.
See, the moment you truly understand that your education is your responsibility, not something that just happens to you, the entire game changes. You stop waiting to be told what to think.
And that's when you start becoming a thinker, someone who analyzes, synthesizes, and creates. You move from being a consumer of ideas to a producer of them, and that, right there, is the real goal.
So we'll end with this, a question to take with you. As you go through your own journey, just take a look at your habits, your mindset, and ask yourself, are you just being trained as a student, or are you actively training yourself to be a thinker? Because in the end,